Obligatory Art Fight video. Hello everybody, this is Chibijisi of YouTube. This is probably going to be my first and only Art Fight video. A lot of the other videos I've seen on Art Fight tend to be in this perspective of those that have been in Art Fight for like 3 years or so. Around 2020 at most. I kind of want to give it the perspective of someone who was there since 2017. That's right, I was there during Sun versus Moon. And this is probably going to be different from all the other art fight related videos because there's some videos that I see that kind of have talked about the similar type of issues, i.e. people being entitled to a point where they don't want beginner artists to draw for them, the TikTokification of art fight, and other sorts of issues that I don't feel like getting into. And don't get me wrong, while they are issues, I am fortunate enough that I have not encountered such issues this year. Can't wait being this year, who knows what the fuck may happen next year. This is gonna be a little bit of a history lesson per se, of my active beginnings to my pseudo burnout with art fight. So, during the beginning, I have not known much about art fight. In fact, when I hear people talk about art fight and, talking about teams like Team Sun and Moon, I initially thought this was Pokemon related. Keep in mind, I think this is around the time when Pokemon Sun and Moon came out, so I was, assuming that this is Pokemon related, hence why I haven't joined, straight away. But when I realized that it wasn't Pokemon related, and that's just for very funny circumstances, I've joined art fight and, just draw for people, whether it's for my friends or some strangers. During the early days of when I was doing art fight, I was a plucky one, willing to draw for folks, even though I did not do friendly fires, because, truth be told, I wanted to support the team that I was at the time, which was Team Moon. And oh yeah, this was way before the whole getting access to your desired team, by the way. Art fight used to put you on a team that's in a slightly randomized manner. Of course, if the first team you got isn't your thing, there's a way to, try to switch teams by opting out of that and try again with the team you wanted, but it's still randomized, though. I mean, I guess what I meant to say is that it still was randomized, but, now you get to choose a team that you want. For better or for worse, because it does lead to the imbalancing issues, but that's videos that I'm pretty sure other people have covered. But back to the story. While I wanted to support Team Moon, I was not too competitive. In fact, funny story. When it looked like the Team Sun was about to win, I was just going to accept my fate. Only for Team Moon to win anyways. It was funny looking back, I won't lie, but I was actually dumbfounded, and so were my friends who were on Team Sun. But yeah, those were the beginnings. I kept going on with art fight from 2018 and onwards after that. And if you're wondering what the teams I was during those previous years post 2017, well, those teams were Team Coffee for Tea vs. Coffee in 2018, Team Dream for Dream vs. Nightmare in 2019, Team Sugar for Sugar vs. Spice in 2020. That was sadly my worst year for art fight. Team Steampunk for Steampunk vs. Cyberpunk in 2021, Team Wither for Bloom vs. Wither in 2022, and Team Werewolves for Vampires vs. Werewolves in 2023. And if you're wondering which team I was in for Steampunk vs. Stardust, I'm on Team Stardust. So yeah, I have been doing art fight for basically 8 years, and I think that's when the pseudo burnout was starting to get to me just a bit. I say pseudo because I don't think it was a full-on burnout, as I was still participating in art fight, and hell, I made more art for it than I initially thought I was going to make. More on that later. However, my attack ratio is still rather low, and hell, I have done a lot more friendly fires now compared to what I did during the beginning. I think the fact that I've been doing art fight for 8 years is probably a major factor into this. Participating in yearly events, especially with the chronically amount of free time that I have, might be low-key tiring, and I think that said tired feeling is starting to set in slightly. You were being slightly, because who knows how things will change in the future. That said, I don't think that's kind of the only factor, as there's probably a few other factors that play into this. Now, 2020 was already a kind of a shitty year for everyone, and if you know, you fucking know. But it was kind of a starting point for me specifically because someone I used to associate myself with used to throw, like a fits when they're not getting as much revenges as they kept attacking. Now, it is valid to get upset for not getting as much revenges, especially compared to the amount of attacks that you try to do, but the way that this person was going about it, it was actually troubling, causing me specifically to stress the fuck out to a point of tears, and basically that it was one of the straws that basically killed the fucking camel, and not just break its back. That whole mess is a rabbit hole on its own that I do not wish to revisit for this video. Let's just say that this situation, as well as another dumb situation that basically caused one friend of mine to quit Art Fight cold turkey prior to the 2020 event, that kind of caused me to have a bit of a negative view on Art Fight for a while. It cooled down around 2021, but still. Well, you think that's better enough? Now we could get on to the more depressing reason. Fucking end me. As some of you may know, my home life is not exactly great. And while things kind of spiraled down to the toilet to a point where my sister and I had to come up with a plan Delta, Alpha, and fucking Omega if our mom is not doing shit with the fucking disease of a person that she calls her boyfriend, that we're practically stuck with for another fucking year. I initially wasn't too sure if things gonna turn out, how things are gonna turn out during Art Fight, so I might have been slow in that department. Also, it was not helping the fact that I was bombarded by a lot of folks attacking me with their art. Really got me nervous as hell. Like, yeah, it is valid to be upset for not getting as much revenges after attacking so much, but I'm starting to have the opposite problem of getting too much defenses. Like I wasn't supposed to be popular, what the fuck? Sorry for that mood whiplash, but I needed some level of humor to cope with the pain of IRL shit. Anyways, back on topic. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some youngin' that's going to comment, probably telling me that I'm probably getting too old, but I don't think that it's exactly it, because a few artists I look up to join Art Fight, and they are practically older than I am. Full disclosure, I may not sound like it, but I'm 29. So yeah, even though I call myself an old fart within the anime community circles, there are folks I know that are older than me, and hell, even some of my friends that are a couple of years older than me at most. So yeah, it could be the fact that I've been through the good, the bad, and the what the fuckery when it comes to Art Fight. And I think it all just hit me like a freaking truck. With that said, I'll probably still draw for Art Fight despite some of the grievances I had, and also despite how not active I'll probably be as I was during the beginning. Oh yes, I am going to still deal with the site crashing on the first day. Thanks for asking. I know that there are many jokes about this made by a lot of people, including the people running the site at this point. Though I know the more concerned party made a good point about it, and I'll paraphrase it here. I think the site crashing every time the event starts is basically a non-malicious equivalent of a DDoS attack. But yeah, back on topic, now that Art Fight is over, we'll see how things play out. As of me making this video, we all have yet to know which team won. Part of me hopes for Stardust to win, but another part of me hopes for the best for Team Seaphone. Which leads me to one thing that, truthfully, I am worried about seeing, so let me be on my soapbox for just a bit. I have seen folks getting, well, very down whenever their team lost, and while it is a bummer that you're on the losing team, as someone who has been on the losing team for almost half of my time on Art Fight, I do think it is really worrying that to see some folks get really down whenever their team lost. So I'll probably just say it like right here and right now. If you let the fact that the team gets you like too much, I kind of implore you to like take a few steps back, drink some water, and take some time to take a deep breath for about 10 times at least. Art fight shouldn't be that serious. Well, at least I personally think that art fight shouldn't be that serious. I wish I could go into more stuff, such as art fight alternatives, mainly Discord servers, popping off left and right, especially in the wake of a situation that happened last year. I definitely want to talk about Art Scuffle, but given the fact that it's like a Discord bot, and I have yet to add that bot to a server, yeah, I don't know. But quite frankly, I think I've drawn on long enough. I hope you guys enjoy this art fight video that's different from all the other type of art fight videos that, because of the fact that it's from somebody who's been doing art fight for 8 fucking years. And on that note, that is that. This is Chippy JC of YouTube signing out. Goodbye!